Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at episode 16 of ReZero. Now, episode 15 of ReZero last week was something that it stunned everyone. I think all the fans of the show and even some people who aren't been really huge fans of the show actually realized how special ReZero is. And so episode 16 had a lot to live by. I mean, honestly, when you have an episode like that and you follow up right with another episode, you really are kind of at a loss if this episode will even be close to being as good. How can the series get better? This episode was very good. It did a lot of things correct, and it really showed up with a lot of power in it, in the sense of, I felt a lot of emotion from this episode. And that's one thing I think that I keep saying about ReZero, but I think anyone that's watching the show with me will agree with one thing, is that this show is filled with emotions. I mean, you can get everything from extreme anger sometimes with Subaru. You can feel extreme sorrow for Subaru and all the various characters of the show. It's emotionally jam-packed, and luckily this episode was just the same. Let's get talking about it. So, we actually meet Russell Fellow, who is essentially someone who works with money, according to the guy at the manor. And Russell Fellow already seems like he's going to have an important role. I really think that even though he only had a short, instant appearance in this episode, there's going to be definitely some stuff down the road for him. And I'm curious to see what they do. Now, Subaru comes up with a game plan of asking, the Crush, Crush, asking her for help in the witch's cult thing. So, he tells her, hey, listen, the witch's cult is about to attack. She's going to destroy the whole town. She's going to destroy the mansion where Amelia is at and stuff like that. And she's like, okay, I will help you if you actually, realize that she's not going to then run in the candidacy for the actual, to become queen. And, he was like, wait, whatever, doesn't matter. Let's just do it because I need someone to save her. If she's dead, doesn't matter. Guess what? She then says, well, you know what, and regardless, I'd rather just have her not get out there anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. That really sends Subaru off in a rant. He gets really pissed off, and he's talking about how he wants to get his revenge against them. He wants to take the witches cult down. And she really does give him a good question. She goes, did you actually once say, in this whole conversation with me, that you wanted to save Amelia? Because right now it just sounds like you want revenge. And, it realized that Subaru actually is right now not trying to save anyone, but more so get revenge on the cult. He's not even trying to save the villagers. Like, that's all a secondary thought to him. More so, it's right now all about getting revenge for the witch's cult for what they did to him in the last episode, of course. Now, him and Rem. I always mix them up. Him and Rem are in the actual place in the hotel trying to think of a game plan. What are they gonna do? What's gonna happen next? They decide to split up the next day. He's gonna go talk to some more people, and she will talk to the Knights Council, who has the ability to actually send troops and reinforcements to do various things to help other parts of the country. And so they decide let's do that. Now we also though see that Subaru is really going through a dire situation. And it's interesting to see his kind of reaction to a lot of things. Like, he's calling people useless. He has almost this really harsh tone to him, and Rem's picking that up from him. So it's really interesting to see that. Anyways, he goes to the Countess from the, I think it was episode 14 when we were introduced to her, maybe 13. It was 14. Where, he asks her for help too. And she goes, okay, I'll help you if you decide to lick my foot. And he goes, what? She goes, yeah, if you lick my foot, I'll think about helping you. And he's actually willing to do it. Like, he's actually willing to take all of his pride and do it. And that really sets her off. Like, she actually gets pissed off that he's even willing to negate himself to such a low level for her, her amusement. And she throws him right out. Like, I mean, she throws him against the wall. She kicks him in the mouth. It's funny. It really is. On his way to meet up with Rem, he actually runs into the other one that's going for the royal candidacy thing. I forget. I think it's for the queen or the princess. I forgot which one it was for, but he ends up meeting this other girl from that thing, and guess what? She's just as bad as the other ones. She's willing to give him a carriage to get to the actual mansion, but she's like, oh, stay with me a little bit. Let's talk about some stuff. I want to see what's going on, and he falls for it, little to know that she was the whole time tricking him, so she just can get information about that Fellows guy that showed up in the very beginning of the thing. She wanted to know why he was even there, and if he was there in the first place. And guess what? she tricked him the whole time. You actually see as she's leaving that the whole bar that they were in eating lunch was actually filled with her servants, and he didn't even realize that because he's so blind right now to everything around him. It seems like this really shows that Subaru is kind of getting a little bit off track with his thought processes, and that's kind of scary. Now, as they ride this, they decide finally, let's just go ride to the mansion. Just get everyone we can out of there. Get Amelia, get Ram out. At least we'll settle with that. They end up running into Otto, who's actually from the last episode, who is the merchant that he ran to, that was actually able to take him all the way to the mansion for the most part. He ends up running to him and to several other caravans. And, Otto's talking about, oh, yeah, I had oil that apparently was kind of old oil, so I couldn't sell it, unfortunately. And he's like, wait a second, you also have transport. I will buy all the oil from you if you give me all your transports, and we can all go to the village to save everyone's life. So he actually ends up working for him. Now along the way though, something interesting happens where they are halfway to the actual mansion, where they end up running into this strange mist, and Subaru turns and goes, where's the one guy that was right next to us with the bandana? And Otto's like, no one was riding next to us, what are you talking about? And through the mist, Subaru notices something in the mist itself, and he takes out his cell phone, which still has some battery left, and sees a giant eyeball. And that's where the episode ends, essentially, right here. And I will say, I'm very curious what this thing is. Is it probably a dragon? Could be a dragon, I'm thinking. Maybe some kind of giant creature. It sounded like a whale, I won't lie. That'd be kind of interesting, a whale floating through the thing, but I'm not going to put too much speculation on it. I'm going to say either dragon or whale, one of the two. Anyways, this episode was great. I loved it. ReZero is just turning out to be something amazing. Like, honestly, every episode it feels awesome to review because every episode feels so jam-packed with information and concepts and stuff like that. And just the emotional thrill ride this show brings me is something that I haven't seen in a long time in an anime, that I really cannot wait until Sundays every week just so I can review this and get this out to you guys and girls, and just to see it myself, of course. Anyways, guys and girls, I will talk to you all later. As always, hit the like button, subscribe button, share button, the whole nine. Have a great day. Bye-bye.